What's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome to System Initiation. Pretty excited about today because we're going to finally get you guys on board, get you onto the software, set up your auto appointment system, set up all the systems and integrate everything. Okay, so as I said, in this episode, it's basically going to be our first step in getting this automated attraction process up and running so you can start automating your lead nurturing process. And that's what we need to do. So to do that, I'm pretty much going to be giving you access to our full snapshot, which has got every system already pre-built out for you. That's everything from attraction, conversion, retention, the success triad. We've got all of that pre-built out for you guys, and we've already used all this stuff, tested it, and it's all working amazingly. And from there, I'm going to walk you guys through how to set up some of the basics today, especially for those of you that haven't used the software that we use, known as HighLevel. This is going to be a bit of an introduction to that today. So the first step is really going to be accessing the HighLevel software. And again, during this episode, from there, we're going to go through setting up your business profile setup, integrating into the domain, setting up a phone number so that we can start communicating with leads once they come in through the pipeline and have automations fire correctly. Also, we'll get onto email in a later episode, but for now, just the phone number, A2P registration for those of you guys in the US and Canada. Super important. We're going to go through that whole process today. And also how you can download the Lead Connector phone app so that you can start checking up on leads and things like that, seeing how things are going through your own phone as well, which is awesome. Right. So in terms of the HighLevel introduction, what you will find underneath this episode is going to be a link, and that link is going to take you through to a trial page. Now, I might try and get it up so I can show you guys what you can expect. And it's basically going to give you a trial to the software which hosts pretty much the CRM, the lead management, everything, all of the automated processes that we're going to install into your business today. It's found within a snapshot that I've built on the program HighLevel. And if you haven't used HighLevel already, it's everything that I just explained. It's just a lead management software, and it's a very, very good one. Okay, so if I just hop out of here and go into the description here, we'll find the first link. It's the free trial. It gives you 14 days free, and it also gives you that snapshot. So if you haven't got HighLevel already, join through this link. If you're currently on it, I'm quickly just going to say this now. If you're currently on HighLevel and you've already got an account, you need to check what account you've got, because if you're on the $97 plan, that only allows you access to one location. And you need to be able to access this snapshot clean, completely fresh. What I don't want you guys to do is go ahead and download this snapshot and then use it within anything that you may have already set up, because it's going to be confusing. So you got two options. You either sign up again through this account, which is actually more cost effective, or you upgrade your account to the $297 and then create a new sub account, which hopefully you know what that is, a new sub account inside of your HighLevel, to then go ahead and paste in this snapshot fresh into a fresh sub account so that you got everything clean. Okay, so those are your two options if you currently already have it. If you don't, then going onto this link, and if I just actually copy this link, go into incognito browser, I'll show you guys what I mean. So what you'll find is a page like this, FitBiz Freedom. Okay, and it's going to ask you to sign up. As I said, 14 days free. And then from that point on, so let's say if I just put in a random email. Okay, random password. Then you've got two options. Okay, you've got the single location. This is if you're only running one location, one gym, then sign up for the $97. That's all you need. And then if not, and sign up to the $297, which is basically where you can have as many as you want. You're going to need a separate sub account for each location that you've got, each gym you've got, just so you can keep the processes separate, because you don't want to have leads all coming in from different locations within one place, if that makes sense. Okay, so go here, you'd select $97, you'd put in your information. So once you put in your information, it's going to then start to ask you to put in your business information. So you need to select what your business is serving. For example, obviously fitness and nutrition is what I would do for gyms. Business size, do you have a website, all that sort of stuff. You can click next. Then it's going to ask you for your billing address. You can have account details on file to pay for things like texts. And then it's going to ask you if you're currently using any of these tools. You can just skip this if you want, press next. Got it. And then you can set your password for your account. This is going to be for your agency account, as in the entire HighLevel account. Okay, so once you put in a password, choose it yourself, verify your email address. You basically need to go and grab that code from your email that you put in for your admin account. Grab that code, come back in, and you want to paste that verification code, click verify. Very simple. And then it's going to ask you about setting up your first client, which for you guys is going to be your own business. Okay, so then this is going to do is create a sub account. So we need to put in our business information like this. If you have a website, you can put it in. If not, tick it off, click create. And that's going to create a sub account inside of your agency account, and all will be explained very soon. But now you're in, okay? So now you're in the sub account, which is going to be what you're going to be operating your business through. So what I've gone ahead and done is jumped into a sub account, which will be with the snapshot. Once you've imported it, you can check if it's been imported by toggling from your sub account and going at the top here, switch to agency view. And agency view just means in essence, the entire account view. So you think at the top of the chain, you've got your agency, and then you've got a separate location. So you've got now, obviously, if you're on the $97 plan, you only have one location, so you don't need to worry too much. As I said, this is a software that agencies will also use to manage their clients. But I'm just going to give you guys straight from the source how to use it, and just pretty much pre-built the systems already, as I've said, so you guys can very easily just copy and paste it into yours. So to check if you've got it, go over into agency view, account snapshots. And then if you go over to imported snapshots, you should find underneath it, obviously I haven't because I've created it, you should find Fitbit's Freedom, and then just make sure that's been imported. And then that you're pretty much good to go. In terms of agency settings, we won't need to go over too much of this today, but at the bottom left, you can click settings here. You can go over your profile, your company profile, put these things in. It's always good to have these, especially when we go over to things like domains that we're going to get onto very, very soon. Okay. And make sure billing as well, make sure that's all good. I know you've just put it in on the page, but just make sure that that's the exact card that is your company card that you want to be billed, because you're going to be billed for things like phone, okay, sending texts, and also sending emails as well. A very minimal amount. You probably need to contribute around anywhere from like $10, $15, maybe if you're really pushing it, $20 a month, just on sending texts and emails, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things. In terms of the amount of money that you're going to be making back, it's nothing. All right. So from there, I'm just going to hop back into that fresh sub account, or semi-fresh, because I've already got all the systems in it. And I'm going to meet you guys here with me. All right. So if I just hop back into the PowerPoint quickly here, we got a few things that we need to go over in terms of the introduction. Okay. And that first thing is going to be just discussing what the software is used for. We've already done that. I'm going to take you through the dashboard. We're going to go through business settings, filling out our company information, why that's important, and also adding a payment method. We all briefly spoke about that. So the main things I'm going to go over now is just going to be the dashboard overview and then business settings information. Okay, so if we hop back in, you'll find your dashboard here. Now, obviously, this is an empty account, so there's not going to be anything here. But essentially, this is your metrics. Okay, these are going to be things such as opportunities, which is just essentially where leads are in a pipeline, which means what stage are they at. Okay, predetermined through the pipelines that we've got set up. I'll walk through these in a later episode, but easy ads, for example, we've got form submitted, ghosting, appointment booked, buddy added, cancellations. So you'll see all of this sort of information in terms of the figures through here. And if we click on the top right here, we can select the particular time frames. We can see how many leads did I get, how many people have booked this month, for example. What was our conversion rate? Okay, how much was the value, opportunity value? Again, all of this will be explained later, but just want to take you guys through this very quickly. Another important thing, manual actions. You can talk about the user here. Okay, so let's see all of Zach's manual actions. Manual actions are going to be things such as sending SMSs, sending or making phone calls as well is another big one. Okay, and that's that. And if you've got Google ads, that'll be connected here. Google business profile, Facebook ads report, again, pretty empty, pretty bare bones, which is what you guys are going to have, which is why we're here to set things up today. So what's first on our objective here is just to head into the settings, and we're going to start to fill in those business settings. So it's going to be the first option here on the left, which is the business profile. And then we're going to basically need to start filling in information about our business, our legal business information. And this is really important that we get this on this sub account profile so that we can then start applying to get things like phone numbers, for example, we need to have our tax ID and stuff like that. So just fill things in as we go along. So general information, everything on this page is going to need to be filled. Okay, so friendly business name, that's just what's the name of your gym, what's the name of your location. And then legal business name is as registered with the EIN, the legal business name. Okay, from there, business email, business phone if you've got one. Might as well just copy this one. It's not actually real. Okay, it's just some fake stuff just to show you guys what I mean. Business website, and then business niche as well. Click that. Fitness and lifestyle. Business physical address. This is a big one. So don't put your facility's address. Put the address that is registered as your registered office for your business. So whatever is on all of your legal forms, whether that is your location address or whether it's a registered office, make sure you've got the registered physical address of your business here. So this is not necessarily going to be your location. Okay, and making sure once we're going through all of these, we're always pressing that blue update button as well. Business information. So, are you a limited liability company? Select that first one. Industry, you guys get the point. Making sure we select our tax or business registration number, and then business of operations, update. And then final point here is authorized representative. We need to have the person who is named as the authorized representative on here. Okay, update that information. I think we're pretty much good to go. In terms of the general settings, just copy what you see on the screen here. These are the best sort of things you want to do. So merge Facebook contacts by name, mark emails invalid due to hard bounce, validate phone numbers. This is a big one. So if we, for example, we're taking a big list of phone numbers or a big list of email addresses as well underneath there, we want to make sure that the software can validate before it sends that very first message, just to make sure this is actually real. And that's going to massively reduce the amount of bounce backs, is what you call it. It's basically where you send a text to a number that doesn't exist anymore, and then it obviously bounces back to you. So we want to reduce that as much as possible, because that takes away from our sending reputation, which can influence our deliverability when it comes to sending texts and emails and things like that. We want to make sure everything is on point. So make sure we got those ticked off. You can customize these. This is how I'd recommend to have these SMS compliance things. So this is when you send a very first message to someone, you need to make sure your phone number is compliant. So you need to make sure that you've got the option to opt out. So you can go ahead and press that and just make sure it's to opt out or apply stop, and then make SMS compliant by adding send information. Again, for the very first one, it's going to have who was it sent by. Make sure this doesn't look weird. So that is that in terms of the business settings. What you'll find underneath this episode as well is there's going to be a phone registration guide and A2P 10 DLC guide. So this is really important. Let me just find it here. The checklist. Because we need to make sure that everything here is done. So we're going to work our way through these today. But these are, make sure that you take a little look through this, make sure you've got all of this sort of stuff in check. Next things we're going to need to do is obviously make sure that the time zone is correct, platform language, outbound language. So if we go back into the settings, again, make sure the time zone is correct, platform language, all of that looks good. Make sure we've updated everything, and I'm going to head back into the PowerPoint. And so our next step is going to be to connect our domain, or to potentially buy our domain. So one of the things that you're going to need once you're inside HighLevel is to have a domain, which is a website address. It's what you see on the URL of your website, if you've got one, hopefully. And that is what you're going to need to host the funnels and the things to send traffic to get leads to opt in. Not only that, but we're also going to need the domain to send out things like emails, and we need to verify the domain within the HighLevel platform. So that's why we need to set up the domain here. Now, it's highly likely you already have a domain, which is awesome, and that's probably quite important for your business. But the issue that we have, and the issue that we run into a lot of the times, is that if you're part of a large franchise, for example, you may not have admin access to your domain settings, your DNS settings, or, or for whatever reason, if you would like to have like a separate domain to run marketing from, then your main domain that's hosting your current website, then I need to walk you through the process of buying a new one. Okay, because you're going to need to have admin access to be able to host the funnels, as I said, and you need to be able to add in some key things to make sure that we're all integrated here. So I'm going to walk you guys through, because I want to accommodate for everyone here. And those of you that, for example, you don't have admin access with your current domain, or you're in a franchise where you can't access your website domain settings, for example, then I'd recommend, as I said, purchasing a brand new domain that closely resembles your current one, just so you can host the funnels, run the ads. So we like to stick with GoDaddy for all of our domains. So what you can do is pretty much go ahead and purchase a domain on there. So if I was to type it in here, and I did actually buy one, hopefully it signs me in. Okay, and I actually went ahead and bought a fresh one just for this. Okay, as you can see, gymsbooking.com. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and go into my DNS settings. So I've already gone ahead and set up certain things which may not even apply to you. That's just hosting through Google. If you want more information about that, you can basically just, well, I'll talk about that soon, but main thing is you need to go onto GoDaddy and just click on purchase a domain. So if I go back to the home website, very simple. You can search for domains, find a new domain, for example. Okay, so I could go ahead and grab this one if I wanted, 9 Round Florida. And all you really need to do from here is head back into the software. Okay, so if I was to just go back out from there and head into the software, what I would need to do from here is just, again, take myself into the settings. I'm going to scroll down till we see domains here. Then we're going to click add domain. I'd go ahead and put mine in. If you want to, then you can add in the www as well. Now, I did also mention there's an option to not purchase a new domain if you want to keep your current one, and you've already got things like Google Workspace already firing, and you've got emails and things like that set up. Then what I would recommend you go ahead and do is take your current one and you would put go dot in front of it and import it like this. And what that's going to allow you to do is host the funnels. Now, every time you host a funnel, and I'll go through that in a second, or hosting the websites is what I mean by that, you would need to make sure that it's got go dot in front of it. And that's going to allow you to not crash your current website that may be just using this domain on itself. But if in doubt, like I said, it's probably going to cost you $10 a year, less than that, to get a new domain. Just make sure it closely resembles it. I'm going to go ahead and press continue here, and it's going to start to set up our domain for us. Make sure that you're logged into that GoDaddy account as well on this browser, and then just press authorize this domain, and it's going to go into GoDaddy, as you see, and just click connect. And what it's going to do is start to set up the domain for you. Okay, press close, and then it's going to go through the authorization process. And then what this will allow to happen is that now you'll have a URL, a place to host everything, which is awesome. And that's going to be inside of your HighLevel account. Give it a second here while it authorizes. And as you can see there, now I've got gymsbooking.com and I've got www.gymsbooking.com. Now, what you guys could do if you really wanted is set up a redirect for certain pages on your funnel. For example, the privacy policy. You could go ahead and go here, select this, and you could do, for example, you could basically go ahead and redirect that to your current website's privacy policy if you're already hosting one. But if not, don't worry about that too much. What I'm going to do is head into the funnels now and show you the privacy policies and all those sort of pages that we've already got pre-built out and set up for you guys. So back into dashboard, if we go over to sites here, what you'll find is we've got a couple different funnels. Now I'm just going to hop into the easy ads funnels, and let's just go into ads offer funnel. You're going to need to do this for any funnels you see here, any ones that you decide to use. And then first steps we need to do is head over into our settings, select the domain, save at the bottom, and that's gone ahead and updated us now. So that's everything sorted. Now we can go ahead and, well, what this has allowed us to do is host under this new URL that we've bought. So if I go into this website here, then you'll see we've got a bit of a funnel page here, and that's all hosted with gymsbooking.com. All right. So now that means we're in a good place to start setting up the phone system and get text enabled so that if anyone comes through the funnel once we set up ads, once we set up certain processes, that we can obviously have a number that we can communicate with them. Okay, so setting up a phone number, super simple. I'm going to walk you guys through that whole process now. What we're going to go ahead and do is head back into the software, click over here to settings. Then we're going to scroll down until we see phone numbers. And we're going to go ahead and click add number. Now, key thing for this is you want to add a local number, so one that is text enabled. So you'll see the capabilities here. Make sure that it's got SMS, make sure that it's local. So let's say you can filter this by what state you're in, where you're in, for example. Super duper simple to do that. You can just go ahead and do United States, for example. And then you can go ahead and filter by the area code. Click apply. All right, and it's going to go ahead and give you all of those different numbers. Let's say I wanted to choose this one. It's going to cost you $1.15 per month just to have that number. Make sure that it says local. And that's that really. And then you can go ahead and click proceed to buy. All right, but I'm just going to exit off here because I don't need one for this test account. Now from here, I want you guys to open, it's going to be linked below, the phone registration guide, the A2P10 DLC, and walk through this with me. Because, well, to begin, we've already gone through that first step, which is to purchase a local text-enabled number. Now what we're going to do is do all of the following, which is head into Trust Center and start A2P registration. Now this is basically a way for you to verify that you're a legitimate business so that you can get sending rights within a local number. Now the reason this is important is because we want to have a local number when we're texting out leads, one that's preferably within our local area, it's within our state, for example, and so that we can have a number that leads recognize when we're reaching out to them. So they're not thinking, what is this? Is this a business? Is this someone harassing me? They can have that familiarity, and it's really going to help with not only your own deliverability, but also the responses that you see from leads when you're texting them and when we're running these automated text campaigns, for example. So it's really important that we set up this A2P messaging. Every business needs to do this. It's a requirement now in the US and Canada. So to start, super simple. I'm just going to click here, start registering now. And I want you guys to go ahead and have this document up next to you. And we're just going to go ahead and do everything that it says here. So I'm going to walk you guys through it now. Is this business registered, located in the US or Canada? We click yes. And does this business you're registering have tax ID? Yes, it does. Okay. And then continue. From there, everything you'll find is already being pre-populated, which is why we did that at the start. We weren't just filling out that stuff for no reason. Okay, legal business name. You want to just go ahead and check that all of this looks okay. And this is definitely what is on your tax ID forms, etc. Continue. Business address. Again, make sure it's the registered office address. Continue. Contact information. So the authorized representative, make sure that is all okay. Continue. Now for the brand details, we want to select low volume standard. This is going to allow you to send up to 6,000 texts a day. That's all you guys need. We're not a big corporation. We're not running nationwide campaigns. So there is never really going to be a circumstance where you'd even want to, or it'd even really be smart for you to send more than 6,000 texts a day. So that's the one that we need to stick with, and you guys are completely fine with that. In terms of the fees for this, there's a one-time charge, which is $20.95. That hasn't gone up in the past few months. So we should be pretty set with that. And that's just to submit the registration. This is a manual process. So somebody is going to go ahead and check to see if you're compliant with all the text regulations that we've already pre-built out and helps you guys through here. All right. Now we go ahead and click low volume standard, acknowledge here, continue. Now for the campaign details, we've already pre-built out all of the stuff that you need to put here. So low volume mix is fine. Keep it like that. Use case description, go ahead and go into that registration guide. And then here we just select this here. Copy and paste it in. Sample message 1. Okay. Now, everything you see here in bold, you guys are going to go ahead and have to change this for the name of your business. Make sure we copy that in. Paste. Clean this up a little bit here. Sample message 2. Copy. Paste. and then press continue. Also just making sure that we've got both of these selected here. Continue. User consent. So again, anything from bold, so I actually will go back there and just quickly show you what I mean by that. Anything that is bold in here, as I said before, needs to be changed. So if I was to make this for mine, then I'd go ahead and where it says company here, change this to Easy CrossFit, for example. Super simple, just like this, guys. CrossFit. I believe that actually should have been user first names. I'll just put Zach here. Awesome. Continue. And then we can go ahead and end user consent. This is a big one. We want to use the domain that we just put in for our funnels, the one that you potentially just bought. So I'd go ahead and swap that out. /offer. That is going to be the landing page that we've set up for that funnel that we just connected that domain to. So that's all done for you guys. And then from there, company. When it says company for these ones, we can use our friendly business name. Key wanted to type in EasyFlex there. Right, perfect. In terms of opt-in keywords, we got them here. It's going to be start or texts. Those are the two. Find that subscribe's a little bit too businessy, okay? And then opt-in message, very simple. Again, we've already set that up for you guys. Opt-in message, hey, you can just leave that there because it's whatever the lead's called. And then it's, okay, that's all done. And then we go ahead and we press submit. Now, I'm personally not going to press submit because I don't want my cart to be charged $21 for something that is fake and isn't actually real information. Okay, so, but for you guys, you're going to go ahead and press submit. Now, here's the kicker is that this process at the moment, we're typically seeing it's taken up to 2 weeks, sometimes even a little bit more, 2 to 3 weeks, because as I said, it's a manual process. So what's going to happen from here is they're going to check that everything you've put in here is true. Luckily for you guys, we've already put in the snapshots, so everything is true in terms of when people opt in through a form, for example. So I'll quickly show you what I mean. If I were to click here, claim my offer, put in my details, not sure why it's green, but we'll go with it. Again, if I put in my details here and I basically went through and filled in that information, then what would happen is someone's going to manually go ahead and do that and check to see if the information that you put through, so for example, hey, thanks, you're all set, I reserved your offer. They want to check that that's even there. They also want to check to see if it's got the consent boxes. So if we go ahead and go into forms here, you'll quickly see what I mean, which is I agree to the terms and conditions provided by, it's going to be your name, provided my phone number, I agree to receive text messages. That's really key. We need to have that on, and we've already got everything built out for you. Now, one last thing I'll say on this, and this is getting a little bit advanced, but just so you guys know, head into automations. And if we go to support workflows, you'll see that we've got that A2P compliance. Now, the cool thing about A2P and that whole registering a phone number thing is that once you've got that confirmed and it's done once, that's going to be done for your sub account, okay, for that sub account. So if you're someone that has multiple locations, you're going to need to do that multiple times per sub account. But if not, if you're just running one location, then you can buy as many phone numbers as you want from that point on. And also you can go ahead and switch this off once you've been accepted. So what this is just to make sure that we get accepted, we've gone ahead and added those opt-in triggers. So if anyone ever says start or texts, then they're going to get, like we put in there, hey, you've successfully opted in, reply stop if you'd like to opt out, okay? You go ahead and you flick that off after you've been accepted, just because it may affect the quality of leads that you get. Now, one last thing I'll mention is that if you really want to get the ball rolling and you really want to get this thing set up quickly now, you can go ahead and go into phone numbers once again, settings, phone numbers, and you can basically buy a toll-free number. And that doesn't need to have A2P verification. You can just start using it right away. Obviously, the downsides of that is that it's going to be a toll-free number. It's going to be a business number. It's not going to be something local or recognizable. So it's not preferable. But you can go ahead and choose that if you want to. You can find them here, scroll down, toll-free. Again, that's pretty much a way to work around it until you get A2P verified. But once you do that, I'd go ahead and keep the local numbers. And that's really that in terms of the setup. For those of you that are not in the US, then you would just need to make sure that you've gone through. So let's say you're in, I don't know, Australia, for example, wherever, okay, in the UK, make sure that you've gone here and you've done your address bundle for the UK and regulatory bundle for anywhere else. Make sure that's all set up. It's very simple. Put in your business information. It's not going to take 2 weeks. It's just the US and Canada with the A2P verification process. Okay. Okay, so we've gone through that. Again, we've gone through the prices. That's why we need to make sure that we've got the billing information. It's all up to date. Our final piece here is going to be optional things, some things that we can set up with our phone to further increase our pickup rates and just overall our credibility when it comes to that new automated SMS line. So back into the Trust Center. What you can go ahead and do is do shaken/stir. And this is just to basically say that you're a verified caller. It's just going to help with your pickup rates. And that's very easy. You could just click start registration here. You've already put in that information once. It's going to automate it. And you can basically apply for that. It's cost free, super simple to use. Second option is going to be the CNAM voice. Now, this is really cool because basically what this is going to do is when you call a lead and they look on their phone and they see, because usually, you know, when you've got like a contact on your phone, you'll see who's calling you, right? Well, with this, it's going to put the name of your location, the name of your business on the lead's phone. So they know exactly who's calling them. So let's say they've just opted into your Facebook ad and they see, oh, Easy CrossFit's just called me right now. I remember that ad I just opted into 2 minutes ago. It's going to increase the amount of pickups that you get. Okay, so again, optional, but I'd recommend that you get started with something like this as well. So final points here, just to recap on everything. I know it's been a bit of a crazy episode, and guys, you can watch this back as much as you want. Take it slow. I understand if this is the first time you've been on HighLevel, this may have been a bit overwhelming, but I wanted to get you guys up to speed and get you guys moving quickly so we can start getting those results in quickly, okay? So just to recap everything that we've done today, we started off with, first of all, signing up through the snapshot. We went through some of the dashboard metrics and how this is your hub basically for seeing what's going on in your account. We've gone through setting in your business information, making sure that's all up to date and everything is looking good, setting up your SMS compliance messages here. And then we went ahead and we bought ourselves a local phone number. And we went through the importance of purchasing a local phone number that's going to be native to the leads that you're going to be talking to, basically within your local area, so that you can get those good response rates. We went through setting up A2P registration so that you can start sending those automated texts. And then we finally went through just at the end here, setting up things like Shake and Stir, setting up things like CNAM just to increase the results that you see from your campaign, increase your pickup rates, increase all of that sort of stuff. This has been really just the introduction. In the next episode, we're going to follow up with things like setting up your email, getting your team on board, setting up calendars, all that sort of stuff. So hopefully you guys have followed along. You've got everything that you need as of right now. Final thing I forgot to mention was that we also added the domain to the funnel, and that's a big one. Okay. So hopefully you guys have followed along, as I've said. And if you haven't, watch us back as many times as you need, and I'll catch you in the next one.